Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Wealth and Wisdom. Today we discuss the origin of debt in the developing world. The 20th century saw many nations achieving political independence from the oppression of imperialism. However, this independence did not necessarily result in economic freedom. As a result of a series of factors, these newly independent states have become economically dependent upon rich Western countries for loans. This is the physical manifestation of the evil that is riba, interest. Countries incur interest-bearing loans not only for development projects, but also for day-to-day expenses as well as to pay interest accrued on the previous loans, thus keeping them locked in a vicious circle of indebtedness. The dependency on foreign loans has not only disrupted the economic well-being of these countries but has also adversely affected their self-determination and forced them, sometimes against their interests, to submit to the demands of creditors. The origin of developing countries' debt is largely attributable to two main causes. Firstly, worldwide events in the 1970s and 1980s, particularly the oil price shocks, high interest rates and recessions in industrial countries and weak commodity prices, were major contributors to the build-up of debt. Endogenous factors have also played a large role, with weak economic policies and poor governance in many developing countries. These range from natural disasters, resources depleted by past invaders, political instability, tribalism, civil wars, corruption, to credit ratings by capitalist agencies, poor exchange management, or an administration that is open to bureaucracy at its best and bribery at its worst. As a result, developing country debt rose from $500 billion in 1980 to approximately $2 trillion in 2000. Secondly, the unfair free trade laws in operation, which worked to protect Western industry at the expense of developing countries, also increased developing countries' debt. An example of this can be seen with reference to EU subsidies on its agricultural industries. Causes of the indebtedness of the majority of the world have far deeper roots that are embedded in the structure of the global capitalist financial system based upon interest. Faced with these unfair laws of international economics, is it any wonder that these countries have been unable to lift themselves out of destitution? Very often the exacerbating poverty of some developing countries is attributed to the forced policies imposed upon them by global financial institutions such as the International Monetary Fund, IMF, that prevent them from breaking free from the vicious circle of debt and poverty. Developing countries claim that there is a lack of choice when devising economic development growth strategies. However, examples from other countries show that alternatives are available. Poland, for example, employed alternative strategies to those advocated by Western financial institutions. Instead of following policies recommended by the IMF, it pursued those which it felt were needed for the development of its state, such as strengthening of democratic reform, keeping unemployment low and providing benefits for those who were unemployed. The result: Poland is amongst the successful of the Eastern European countries. The same can be said to be true of Ghana in Africa. It is evident that solutions to poverty do exist and are possible. What is certain, however, is that poverty reduction strategies cannot be tailor-made and dictated from elsewhere. Solutions need to be homegrown and should take into account the specific characteristics of the country and needs of its people. In essence, There needs to be a democratization of the international financial system. Countries are rejecting and need to continue to reject the notion that a single set of policies dictated by the West or Western-controlled international institutions are right, as this is in contradiction to both the principles of economics, which emphasize the importance of trade-offs, and common sense. In Western countries there is often active debate of every aspect of economic policy. This needs to transcend to the international level as well. A broad range of economists and officials from developing countries need also to be involved in the debate. Moreover, participation should also extend to beyond experts and politicians so that there is genuine consultation with all interested stakeholders. Such an approach is endorsed in Islam, and it has laid great stress on the democratic principle of discussion. The Holy Quran states, "And whose affairs are decided by mutual consultation," chapter 42 verse 39. This makes clear that there should be an exchange of information and viewpoints, and there should be an opportunity for new information to be considered. Thus, the economic principles of Western countries and international institutions need to be open to new information and ideas that may expand or change current understanding. This will also enable developing countries to assume responsibility for their well-being themselves, encouraging them towards more effective governance, democratic accountability, openness and transparency. We hope you learned something from this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.